This is another episode of What Keeps You Going with them Mtshalis. Namhlanje nginodadewethu. Bangabheki complexion. Newabuza indaba ze complexion. Nodadewethu namhlanje Ntombenhle Vianto Mtshali. Kunjani?
Ngiyaphila hlaba ngani njalo.
Before phela mina ngimule ngitshela abantu ukuthi ba subscribe, ba like, ba share, ba comment.
Okay.
Before iqala ke. The author must put respect into the name, right?
She's an author. Yeah. A published author.
Yeah. And I saw manje recently on Facebook, right? Yes. You told you the
TUT.
Yeah, I was telling ngayo leyo.
Sanibonani. I just saw the hand of God.
Yeah.
Nothing else. I can't explain it. I just approached someone and said to them, listen, this is the book that I've written and this is what it's about. Bang phone again, we had a meeting, some of the directors and stuff like that. And it was a virtual meeting. After that, we agreed that we were going to buy the books for their students.
Sure.
And yeah, that's how it is.
Nice.
That's why I'm saying it was just the hand of God. I had absolutely not. I cannot take credit.
Yeah. And it can't good now, Pela, but tad no my yin.
But tad no my yin.
Yeah.
Obviously
Well.
Yeah, no.
I cell phone, right?
Yes, no, I
first
did.
chapters,
I wrote the entire book with cell phone, from my cell phone, and I need to. Some of us sebenza for many years and we tools from M17.
Yeah.
And you actually don't realize that you don't have if you tell laptop is go M17, we are part for years we are changed, upgrade and all of that.
Yeah.
And then the minute umsebenzi uphela then you realize I actually did not have it. But that didn't stop me. I had to write the book. I knew it was time for me to do it. So I wrote my book from the cell phone.
Yeah.
Thank God my second book ni balagwi laptop.
Second book
Yeah, no, I very fitting
But I saw some stuff, right? Go Facebook.
Yes.
After keeping what? Because konabante batintayo as part from yourself.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So what it is in the press statement, good konomuntu beka feel ngathi what you've written. But ungashaya leso story, right? Good. Lo muntu ufila kanjani offended, or if you take offense to what you've written, or lama ruma nje bewakhona ukuthi whatever you've written bapenda kabi.
Yeah.
Kwenzakale.
When you have history no muntu and bese omunye wenza something. In our case, bekuyi case yokuthi I wrote a book. And because of the title yencwadi, I weathered the storm. The assumption was that the storm was the marriage. And the storm that I'm talking about, yes, marriage is part of it, but my upbringing is in the book. There's a whole lot of things that I talk about. I was almost raped. There's a whole lot of things that I touched on the book. But I just feel the assumption was that this storm that I weathered was the marriage. And so shortly after the book was published, there was a press release from his side stating that after a court battle of 3 years, he wanted to thank the legal system as a South Africa for allowing him access to his children and which is something that never happened. It had never happened at all. So I had to clarify because of the things that I do. I would not, under normal circumstances, I would not have explained it, But because of what I do, one of the things that I speak of in the book is that women should allow children to have access to their fathers, whether or not there's a relationship there, And so then when somebody speaks the direct opposite of what I'm preaching, I really had to, put things into perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happened.
So for umuntu obukele manje omamele, right? Wena ubungena nkinga nokuthi umuntu abone ingane, that was open.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there were issues around that. There were issues around the access. Remember when I got divorced, my last born was a year old. And the other one, so my kids are 11 months apart. So if the other one was a year, no, actually less than a year. I got separated when the little one was 6 months. And the other one was just above a year. So there were issues around that. Where are the kids going? Who's going to take care of the kids? And so sometimes when you ask those questions, people feel uncomfortable. Perhaps the person that I was asking felt uncomfortable. You can't be asking me where I'm taking the children. But as a mother, I want to know where my children are going, especially because they are not independent as yet. They, if they're not, and also considering the fact that I was staying with you in the house and you were not helping with the kids, and how do I then know that you will be able to take care of the children? So it was not a matter of one denying the other access. It was a matter of one wanting to have answers as to where the children are going. And there were many other things that I'm not going to mention for the sake of not trying to paint a certain picture about my ex-husband. But there were certain things that were happening that I was very uncomfortable with. And so, now tell me, the way forward, how do we do this? You can have the kids, you can see the kids, but how do we do it? So he was not interested in that. But when he mentioned in the court, I was shocked, because the only time that we went to court was after that message that he had written, that Tina Naye besise court, and the court had granted him custody. I didn't even know that in South Africa we can even have custody battles, But I guess we define things differently. Mhlambe Tina, njengoba sihlezi la, we call it an interview. Omunye umuntu angayibiza meeting. So, with him, he probably did it that way. I can't imagine why he would have thought we had a 3-year battle. But I just needed to correct it, But I felt it was stemming from the title of the book.
Okay. So after having gone through that, right?
Yes.
Now after it, I remember corner after. Would you still consider umshado?
Of course. Of course. I would.
Yeah.
I would. Look, umshado for me is not defined by what I went through. Yebo? What I went through was my experience. It does not mean ukuthi kamtshali njengoba ushadile definition yenu. No. Umshado is not defined by my experience. I just went through that for my own lessons, for my own life lessons, and probably for my next husband. Who knows?
So I'm right. I'm fully saying that cool go past because young thing is what now, correct?
Yes.
But in full understand that now, after you've went through what you've went through, do you feel konizinto osifunde ngawe after umshado wakho, which bezibuya from indlela okhule ngayo from ebuncaneni bakho? Because I know there are a lot of issues encwadini yakho. Nami ezangithusa ngithi hawu umntase lo.
Yeah.
Abantu abukela babathola incwadi yabona reaction.
Mele bayitho.
Yabona reaction nawo uzobana ukuthi hawu.
Yeah, mawufunda le ncwadi you go, really?
So ngifuna ukwazi khona mhlawumbe izinto you feel ukuthi zivelile bowungazinaka mhlawumbe uthi so over zona mhlawumbe moso semshadweni ukuthi lena bekumele ngidile ngayo.
Yeah. I think so. I think one of them engicabangayo manje is being raised by a single woman. And I'll tell you why. My mom was a very strong woman, very independent in every way, in every action yakhe.
Yeah.
And a hustler of note. Yabona laba bayenza sure ukuthi, I don't know how she did it, but ayenza sure ukuthi everything is in order. Yabo? And so I never saw a male figure. So I never saw how a mother must react towards a man. And then I got married. La emshadweni ngishada nomuntu obone both parents ne behavior yabo. Now somehow I'm also required to do certain things like before I do this, we need to consult ubaba, sizwe ukuthi ubaba uthini. And these are the things that I knew absolutely nothing about until I got into a marriage. So that did affect me as a wife. You know, I would say I'm only realizing, or rather I only realized towards the end of the marriage, ukuthi nami somehow being raised by a single woman, a single parent, did affect me, did affect my behavior in a marriage. Because sometimes there are times where you would go, you know, I'm just doing this. You know, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to do this because I need it or because I see it fit. But then you realize, no, I think it's because of my own background as well. Later on, you realize nobody modeled umshado game. Nobody modeled a relationship. You're me, a man. I'm only learning this now. Yeah. It's still, you know, how do you... There's this narrative, submission is abuse and whatever and whatnot. Yeah. And if you don't have anybody modeling that submission, it's a very thin line. And submission naleo element abuse. It's a thin line. So if you have not seen the proper way of doing it, you will continue to define it ngendlela yakho. And your own way would be, I mean, I'm not going to submit to something or to someone else. Why must I do that? I'm not saying I was doing that, but I'm just saying, Joguti, those are the things or rather even you know, I'm raising girls. I'm raising children, and now and again I have to sort of channel them and remind them, as a partner, this is how, you know, you treat your partner. And we don't... my mom did well, my mom raised us well. But I always say, she should have made us miss ubaba. I grew up thinking, ubaba kanasidingo at all. I knew Baba. I knew who my father was. I do mention it in the book. Yeah. I knew who my father was, but in my mind, I was taught, mama bega pesha kakhulu, bega vala kakhulu, to a point ukuthi iside like bengal miss. And what I do with my children now and again, I would say to them, you must tell daddy this. You know, a small achievement. When you get to daddy, you must tell him, you know, do you want to call your daddy and tell him you want pizza? Yeah. You know, for example, so that they don't depend on me entirely. They must know and this thing was called. So I think for me, in terms of marriage,
yeah. And thanks for that, right? Because if you also in that when we're trying to reflect what went wrong, what went right, what you've learned, who is Uguti now point kakhulu omunye umuntu yangithola kuma reflections singaboni thina ama reflection ethu, but I think that kushowa ne maturity ukuthi so now sekulighter stuff, right? Ukuthi wena naleso wahlala insizwa nje nahlanganaphi iqalaphi
iqale esontweni bengasi isonto lethu. A friend of mine had asked me ukuthi ngimkhaphe. There was something in that church. So I just went there. Ngageza ngithi mina ngibona ngiyageza. So ngageza. I saw this guy. I just saw him and I don't know what happened to me. I can't explain it, but I saw him and I think I saw me in him. You know? And he just went past wayenza lento ayenzayo kwaphuma isonto bas introducer. When he looked at me, I knew. I knew then ukuthi hayi mandophuti lo. Kunama wires angathi aya yabona. And then that was it. We didn't say anything. So the lady benghamba naye then tagged me on social media later that day to say we had a, you know, feedback yelang. So that's how he got my name. And
so bekenza nesontweni umfundisi wenzani?
Bekacula.
Okay.
Yabo 1212. Yeah, bekacula, but at that time beganga yeah, he did sing actually on the day. But it was okay, angithi usually ama artists kuba ukuthi kune concert or kunantontoni and then he's performing for the day. It was not that. It was a normal church thing. Somebody was getting engaged and we were there just yazi esontweni angithi bayasukumisana to announce ukuthi these people are getting married. And so Tina besiyele that, and so that's how I saw him gay. And then he sang because we were normal church, you know, nothing eti. He's an artist, so I didn't even know that he was into lesos and teleso until gay later on when we started talking.
Yeah, so who Facebook magabona igama lakho uyaqala or who phela what these days women can take their shot.
Yeah, no, I didn't take my shot. I didn't take my shot. He actually saw that, and then a couple of days later or a week or so later, Wang Tumeli inbox. No, he sent me a friend request. I don't remember how it happened, but in Tengi we had a conversation with inbox first time where he was asking me, Guti, hi man, do I know you or something like that? And I said, yeah, no, I was at that thingy, that celebration. Then that's how we started talking. But well, later on, obviously he told me that he knew who I was and how he got my name.
Sure. Oh, mara kumela dlala amakhadi kahle.
Bekumele a-check phela ngithi ukuthi usisi yangene kana.
So waphendula phela abaladies bathi wasaphendula uma inbox.
Hayi, mawungafuni ukushada phela ngeke uphendule. Thina siyaphendula. Hayi yo. Yeah. Mina ngamphendula. Angithi wangibuza azangathi hey. Yeah. Or hi. Wa hi kunjani, you know, and then we started talking. Yeah. Hayi siyaphendulana.
And then yahamba kanjani ke?
So then we started talking, and then sekuba yilama discussion wa daily, yabo?
Still with inbox.
Still with inbox. And then we then started talking go WhatsApp. Okay, I found him funny, he found me funny, and yabo sihlekisana lezo. Then send me this on my WhatsApp. Yabona lezo zinto lezo. Kan nami vele bengifuna ukumupha ngithi nami. Then I gave him my number. Then we started talking Gelapo. A couple of days later, we went out for, oh no, actually, I think because I'm going, because I'm iPhone, so, I'm number tuya chamanyan, watching him kape when you mall, ayu lungisa iPad, sahambas I stole. iPad, yeah, I can. And yeah, then from then, I think on that day we both knew that we wanted to be together.
Yeah. So I'm a box. I know by that age you probably had dated, so you knew into a relationship. Like you felt to be able to make a ticket I'm a box right for you.
The connection, I think for me, number one was how we related, you know, with each other. Secondly, okay, I say in the book, there was not much that we had in common with him. And I still say that.
Why so much?
It's just church. You know, it was just church. Yeah. Pale and nothing else. Church-related stuff. I even sometimes wonder, what did we talk about? Yeah. Okay, outside church, outside of everything else, what did we talk about? Okay, I'm being king as a man because I'm going to rough but I don't know and you mentioned because I've dated before. Yeah. And then not that you would want to compare, but you think, okay, so I dated so and so and I dated so and I married, I need to my ex I took pale. So I dated so and I dated so and then I married pale. Yeah. And then you try and compare with, but with that, why is it that he's not even like agana anything a common even nalaba. You know? But game can be the physique as well. About the physical appearance. I like them dark, tall, yeah, so he was that.
Sure. So mase figure lapho ke ngifuna understand ihamba kanjani mase nithi niyajola ke nakhona sesemnandla
Hayi.
Umnandi.
Hayi lo mtsholo bomnandi. Bekunganama flames emtsholweni.
Yeah.
You see, mentionile ukuthi besihlanganiswa into yesonto kakhulu, ne? And because sisesontweni active la ngikhonza khona, active la khonza khona, but the society esikuyo siku Christian society thina kahle kahle. So we know ukuthi asikwazi ukujola 99. Okay, that sounds okay. It sounds like a indlela considering with this. Yeah, but anyway, asikwazi ukujola kwaziwe.
Yeah.
So we had to be discreet about it.
And kuthiwa into imnandi ke manje.
Hayi mayifihlile. Hayi guys. So but you see ukufihla kwethu bekungasuka ukuthi sifihlele umhlaba wonke.
Yeah.
Our friends and some of the family members knew, but ke besi courtship, I guess.
Yeah.
You know. And it was okay. We did a whole lot of things there. Yeah, no. Big jolly.
So ngitshele manjola khona izinto oz pick up still.
Yes. You know, yeah, there was a lot of things that being pick up. Like finance, ne? Ukuthi mhlawumbe uphethe imali, you just use it haphazardly, like yabo uhlala uphethe imali, like iphese yakho kumele ibe nemali, ihlala igcwele imali, and mawuyiphethe kumele iphele type of thing. You know, uyahamba uyogiga, uyabuya uphethe cash, asambise kuphi, akuthengwe ini. I always say ukuthi one needs to have a plan, you know. Unga confuse. I'm not saying he was confused, but I'm just saying ukuthi unga confuse ukuphatha i-2,000 because i-20,000 is ukulahla phansi.
Yeah.
And so there was those things ebengizibona ukuthi okay, and then I would mention, no man, why ufuna ukuhlala uphethe cash, you know, just reserve some, take, you know, this amount, open this account, have this for investments, for your policies, for this and this and that. You can't just use imali njengathi there's no tomorrow, you know. One of the things that I should have picked up lapha ukuthi financial management ayikho la ekhaya, yabo. And also the language. I mean, if somebody says to you, although this was said, maseka propose umshado, ukuthi angisebenza nangikuyosebenza.
Usho saka propose.
Yeah, Lalen, I think you're the one. I think I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And okay, I was praying for marriage, so
yeah.
And then, but you must know this. Okay, I agreed, of course. And then he said to me, but you must know this. Mina angikuyosebenza. Angeke ngize ngiyosebenza. And that, for me, I still say, ukuthi, that was my opportunity to say, Andis.
Yeah.
That should have been me saying, because even the Bible says, ongasebenza ngahle. Kusho iBhayibheli akusho me. You know? I should have asked ukuthi kuyosebenza bani? Yeah. Uzodlani? Because okay, fine, ubhiziwe wena. That's fine, ubhiziwe. But ubizo lakho liyakubeka ukudla phezu kwetafula na. Because God is a God of order. I don't believe ukuthi uNkulunkulu uzothi Mtshali hamba yoba ihead yakwakho uprovide. Maqeda kubiza ukuthi ungakwazi ukuprovide. So these are the things that most of the women are independent within the Christian space should be asking, should know ukuthi okay, fine. Ngiyashada, I'm taught ukuthi kumele ngiyosubmita, ngifundiswa lokhu nalokhu nalokhu. But at the same time, I'm also taught ukuthi kumele ngakhe ikhaya. And a mistake esiyenza kakhulu is that we misinterpret lokwakha sicabanga ukuthi ukwakha kwethu is from our pockets. Hayi mawumthola athi akayi kuyosebenza, mthathe, be wise, umthathe, niqhubeke nishada. Hayibo. If umuntu uthi angikuyosebenza, kumele athi angikuyoshada.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because angeke uthi angikuyosebenza bese uyaqhubeka uyoshada. So mina I should phela ukushada kuyabiza bakithi, you know. So and we are not talking about the wedding here. Masithi ukushada kuyabiza, sisho umshado, the marriage itself. You know, so I believe that ama red flags bewakhona. I'm thinking of a lot now. Yeah, you know, ziningi izinto engizicabanga, but I just think ukuthi this one. Yeah.
Okay. So ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi kuthatha isikhathi esingakanani ke before asho ukuthi azini seng-serious.
Hayi beka serious from day one. Sisa data ngo July. Ngo May the following year beshada. Yes.
Literally nomshado.
Yes. Sure. Si date ngo July. Ngo January wa propose. Ngo April wa lobola. Ngo May beshada.
So khona ukuhlanganisa ama-funds walezo ukuzenzeka.
Lalela beka nayo iproject bekaqeda ukuyenza at that time. So beyikhona into yokuthenga, you know, ngaleso sikhathi leso. So masisa data nakhona, you know, umuntu makaceda ukuyenza something like when you've just published a book, angithi incwadi yathengwa, so now and again you will have ama-sales, and so you will have money here and there, you know. So beku kanjalo at that time. So he proposed in January, we got married. No, he proposed in January. Wa keeper, like I said, wa keep lobola in April. Ngo May, beginning of May, sayenza amahlabiso, sayenza umabo, sign. So ayikho into eyashort.
Yeah.
Yebo.
And esibonga ukuthi wenza izinto kahle.
No, wayenza kahle
ngokomthetho.
No, yonke into yenziwa ngokomthetho. Kwaba namahlabiso, kwaba nomabo, kwaqokiswa ngapha yonke, you know, the procedures zonke zayenza. Yeah.
So abantu abaningi bathi the first day of marriage is the toughest. Right, ngoba uhlala nomuntu khane nifundana khane nibona ama-true colors. Benjani for nini?
Tina, the following day, sasayina on the 3rd, on the 4th, ngahamba ngaya kokwabo ngayabatsho ukuthi ngicela ukuthi angisafuni ukushada naye. Samfuni. Naye wahamba ekhaya wathi angisamfuni. Sishade ngeyi-3, ngeyi-4. Sisayine ngeyi-3, ngeyi-4. Sisayine on a Sunday. Ngeyi-4 on a Monday. Bengokwabo. Naye bekasekhaya. So yabatsho ukuthi asafuni kushada.
Why?
We had a huge argument. Well, I think beqalwe yimi, to be honest. I didn't understand ukuthi he said to me he's not gonna wear i-ring yakhe all the time or something like that. Like uzoyishiya sometimes. You know, something like that. Something that did not make sense. Of course, I besingagcoka ama-ring because besingashadanga. So on that day he says, yeah, no, mina, just so you know, I'm not gonna wear a ring every day. Hey, wait, what does that even mean? You know, so the argument yabalapha then kusho ukuthi awushadanga again. No, i-ring iyangilimaza, or I don't remember ukuthi bekatheni, but it's something that had to do ngokuthi yena ngeke azagqoke i-ring every day. So argument obviously escalated, sa-argue kakhulu. Then kwaba into ukuthi angisakufuni ke nami angisakufuni. He went to my mother, and singasho I decided to go to his mother, he decided to go to my mother, well, to his aunt, but you know, ayobatshela ukuthi hayi angeke ngize ngikhona nami ngathi angeke ngize ngikhona. And mase sibuye ke sekutholakala ukuthi lo nalo bekaye.
But yalunga leyo ndaba.
Yalunga wayiqoka i-ring waqhubeka umshado. But bekunama challenges amaningi. And bekunobumnandi obuningi.
Okay. Awusibalance lapho ukuthi uchazane.
Yazi ngichaza ukuthi a lot of times I would get a question ukuthi but bawuhleleleni kulo mshado? And my answer would be bekhona ubumnandi. Umuntu akabi mubi ngayo yonke.
Yeah.
And mangithi umuntu ngisho nami, angisho yena kuphela.
Yeah.
Nami I'm sure bengimubi kuye manje, mhlawumbe if you can ask him he will tell you ukuthi she's this and that.
Yeah.
But bengekho mubi yonke indawo.
Yeah.
You know. So bekhona kuye kwahlaleka. And also I wanted to believe ukuthi this is it. Angisaphumi, angisayindawo. This is it. Ngizolwa la, it's gonna work somehow. Yes. This is it. Angiyindawo ngizowulwela lo mshado kumele ukhule undlondlobale wenze konke engikufisayo like everybody else ongena emshadweni. So I held on to that marriage. I held on to, at some point there was physical abuse.
Yeah.
I know we're going to talk about others. Yeah.
Before sifika lapho, right? Ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi yonke into iza kamnandi seniyashada kwenzeke le issue leyo yama-ring isort out. Ama-challenge aqala kuphi?
Ama-challenge, the real challenge started when angithi uThanga akayosebenza.
Yeah.
And kusebenza mina ngiyi-one. Okay, mangithi kusebenza mina, I mean that i-salary esisho ngayo eyomuntu oyi-one, you know, income consistent eyomuntu oyi-one la endlini. And that was mine. And remember, okay, so when we got married, benginomntwana oyi-one mina. Bekanganamntwana yena at all. So umntwana bekayi-one, ne? Challenge started when I had my second born. When I had my second born, okay, my second first guye. When I had umntwana wami was 2, then that's when our finances really took south. Because obviously now there's extras. There's an extra mouth to feed. There's auntie, angithi umntwana kakayi crash, I have to go to work. There's auntie that needs to be paid. There's this and that. Yeah. Yes, zonke lezinto. Yonke into kuba na extra. And then I came down. I don't know how this happened, but second born makaqeda ukuvela, I was pregnant with my third. Angazi ukuthi ngichaza kanjani leyo, but it happened.
No.
Yes.
Makuvela lo.
No, Pella, now don't be literal.
After how many months was it called alone?
Okay. Abantwana bami ba 11 months apart. So it means that it means that law wokugcina was conceived when the other one was 6 weeks.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know ukuthi kwenzeke kanjani.
Ngicabanga abantu sebanesithombe.
Yeah, sabayithrowile. No, bayithrowile abantu. It happened. It does happen. They actually do look like twins now. But it took its toll on our finances as well. You know, because my second third mouth. And as a parent, I mean, there's things that you choose for your children. My first child, being him say, you know, good school, you know, affected na school fees because manje le mali kumele ku school fees kumele ibhadalelana la. Sometimes, you know, ama artists azokutshela, sometimes kuba nesikhathi lapho nje ukuthule khona umuntu angagigi at all. And uthatha le mali kumele uyobhadala imoto ngayo, ubhadala because niyavumelana ngithi. When you'll be responsible for this, I'll be responsible for this. So mangabe uyabona ukuthi akugigwanga la, and eyakhe irresponsibility takes priority over eyakho, you know. Then you start paying izinto ezikude kunawe, and then sometimes umuntu uyozama a certain project, ufuna i-project ethize, but that project ifuna imali. That project izofundwa wuwe as well, you know. So bese ayiphumeleli. You know, you just have a lot to deal with.
So, ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi ama-finance aware ngawo or waziyo ukuthi ungena how deep enkingeni kuma-finance ena nje.
No, he is aware.
Yeah.
He is aware because I think we're transparent with each other, kakhulu, you know. But also, he wouldn't have not been aware ukuthi mhlambi rent ayikakabhadalwa because sihlala sonke we know ukuthi rent milibhadalwa. Angeke angabe aware ukuthi I had to take emalini yemoto ngabhadala rent, you know, whatever type of thing. So angeke kuze kube ukuthi he was not aware. He was aware.
Sure. So awungitshela because I think ngifundile encwadini right ukuthi good true ukuthi they drop off emsebenzini imoto isetshenziswa kuwe.
Yes.
Namakhadi ezinye zihlala kuwe.
No, ikhadi lase bank I made him a copy yakhe.
Yeah.
And imoto he would drop me off M17 and drive back. Are you Blomo with his friends or whatever they were doing?
Yeah.
I hardly drove that car. It was a beautiful car. It was a,
Yeah.
And he would drive that car. Well, sometimes he would drive his own, he did have his own car, but there were two different cars. They were totally different, so, and he would drop me off. But I think for me, I really wanted to paint a certain picture for myself and for the world as well. See, my colleagues see me bang drop her off and say, oh, the husband picks her up and drops her off.
Yeah.
And it's important for one to be honest with themselves. It was strenuous and even financially. Because I'm a tripper before now.
Yeah.
Why wasn't I driving myself to work? Because I'm a driver. I got my driver's license when I was 19. So why all of a sudden, now that I'm married, why? So those are the things that I looked into now. Naming is big. Paint a certain picture.
Sure.
So yeah, he did. And then he card, because my card was, we asked Muskuti kuna lama benkano kuskhohlisa bashanga ama black card babhale private word. Leso sikhathi une 20 cent account mara bakushaya private. So I had that card, and so ngamenzela I-copy yakhe so that phela naye
I'll be right.
Magapatala, kubonakala ukuthi upatala nge-black card phela put.
Sure. And I hope I patala.
No, look, benganamali eningi for him ukuthi angayiphathi kahle. Yeah, mhlambe if benemali eningi bese soba ne stories different, but bekune salary, salary phela ihambi phela. So yeah, but he would spend, he would buy groceries ngayo.
Yeah.
And somehow in my mind I would believe ukuthi ubaba la endlini uthenga grocery. It's madness, I tell you. Ngathi brainwashiwe. Those people that believe in their spiritual fathers and believe kuti when my spiritual father says izulu malvuleke lizovuleka nanani, and we always look at them and think, but is this person real? Like, I think I was like them, because somehow I look back and I think, but why did I believe this? Why did I even say it with my mouth? Why did I say uyangondla? I withdrawing, I'm not saying they're gonna contribute. I can't come here and say to you he did not contribute a cent towards the marriage or towards the household. Yeah. I would be lying. That would be a lie, straight from hell. But being echo as frequent as it was supposed to be, because of the type of industry or whatever that you want to call it. Sometimes with 2 months, 3 months, angatholi. Mhlambe athole leyo 2,000 rand, 2,000 izothola leyo petrol ama 3x4 nana. And then in my mind when he does that, ithola ne petrol. Yeah, but ke.
Sure. So masekuvela ingane ke, sekuvela nokuthi uzethwele futhi.
Yes.
Ama challenges yini eqhubeka manje sekuyavela manje so uyanotice amanje indoda amagiga wasabhela awusame sesithini conversations ehamba kanjani.
Begu, the finances were bad. The finances masekuvela, actually from the second child. Okay, the last one was not planned. The second one was planned, So maqeda ukuvela the second one, saqala sa struggle financially. I experienced ukucinyelwa ama lights emshadweni mina, ukufonelwa esikoleni. I didn't even know ukuthi esikoleni sabomntanami mawungabhadalanga isikolo or uhlale officine, and then they call their mother or something like that. I didn't know all of those things because I had never experienced them. You know, I knew how to manage my finances. But I then started to experience that nini school fees as batalwanga, nini siqinyelwa ama-lights, nini nasina petrol, you know. Now and again I would have to ask, Mama ngicela ungiboleke imali engaka, ishiyazini, kenzeka into so, you know, come up with stories and I'm this person ongathanda ukuboleka, you know. I don't angithanda ukuboleka imali nje, you know. But I would, you know, have to call a car because I can't borrow from my colleagues. I mean, so
sure.
You know what I mean?
So no misimo sinjalo ama conversation niba nawo akakhona ukubuyela kule nto okay, as much as eqala ngithanga ngisebenze umlungu ngenza, but now isimo sesiyaphoqa.
No.
Still usan
no.
Maintainer.
No. Into yomsebenzi was never part of the plan. He never planned to get a job. He would say, I'm my own boss. I can't imagine saying vuke ekuseni, ngimsebenzini, ngiyothi good morning, bani. No, he would say those things. He would say those things. And nami, I remember there was this one time where towards the end, we had a meeting with the family. And I said, no, so my family, from my family side, ubhuti wami omdala said, hamba yosebenza, you know, told him ukuthi makahamba yosebenza, and you know, so that kungazoba nalenkinga ezibakhona. And I was so defensive. I was the one that defended that. No, uye washo from sisaqala. I mean, he's called. I said that. You know, I said that because, well, there's no explanation. I don't know why I would have said that, really. But ingqondo yami was just channeled ekutheni he's not going to get employment. He does not want to get a boss. Mina yimi umuntu wama-boss. He is his own boss.
Sure.
But also having said that, you protect him, but you know, Guti, there's a loan on your name that you took together, that you are paying, we want. There's a car, the bank is calling you now because you are not able to pay for that car that he drives.
So it got that far?
Yeah, no, it did. It got that far. The car was eventually repossessed. The bank took the car. Sure. And, okay, I was just saying, so there's a car, there's nappies, there's a nanny that you've got to pay month end. There's him. But you are the one that's saying, no, he did say that he's not going to get a job.
Sure. So, but saying I understand that the entire show ngabanye abantu abakhonza to certain churches
yes.
Now. So corner no defender.
And it's funny because you know we spoke about dating, ne? Before umshado, you know, there's people that I dated. My very first boyfriend, may his soul rest in peace. That guy, basically high school C2. I think I was in grade 11 and he was in grade 12. Mangiagu grade 12, he started at Vets Tech. The following year, I went to Vets Tech, but yena bega travel, you know, mina bengihlale res. That guy, his father would give him money. Ne? Okay, this is your monthly ntontoni. You uzo travel ngayo. He would take a portion of imali and give it to me for me to be able to buy. And then he would travel in a train, baza bamhlela nesesikolweni ukuthi yo umuntu okuhamba nge-train, you travel as a res azongibona nge-train and what not. I'm trying to say, my whole life I never dated somebody beka depend kimi. Nga anything, not just finance. Like I've always been a girl in a relationship. You know, I'm not dependent as such. I'm a hustler. Like you know, it'll never happen. If today I seek sinko, definitely I'm that person. But I'm just saying, Uguti, I never I had never done it before. This was just the only relationship where I was providing more than I was supposed to.
Sure.
So it was not something even you know. And the reason why I gave you an example, your ex-boyfriend as a child, well, as a teenager, was that, I mean, if a teenager knew I must take care of Ntombenhle, you know, and Nami somehow I was channeled he must take care of me, you know. He does not necessarily have to be my father, but he must, you know, you know, and not necessarily because I mean, nami I was upgrading impilo yami. It's not that bengihlezi nje ngilinde yena, but I think you know what I mean. I grew up, I knew ukuthi a relationship is supposed to be that way, but I just did it differently. I don't know how.
Sure. Okay, so now ngifuna usimove kule point of it iba physical.
Yes.
Ukuthi iqala nini, what leads to that, and ureact kanjani to?
I think Beba physical, okay, I mentioned that a lot in the book. I think there's places where so I don't want ukuya lapho because it's encwadini. But leyo kuba physical bengi hida mina bengi protector food. I may be stressed ukuthi asinamali. I can't because this person is a public figure. Yeah. This person is born again, you know. I remember, you know, there was a time where he beat me up, right? He beat me up, ngatumba, like literally ngatumba. I went to the doctor, like ngatumba kakhulu ebusweni. I went to the doctor with him. Masfika ka doctor, I said to the doctor, I got mugged. He's sitting next to me, very uncomfortable. So uncomfortable that doctor, you know, when you're sitting and I mean, me too, doctor would look, you know, when a conversation. But that doctor was talking to me, looking towards me, because there was, you know, he was very uncomfortable. Yeah. So I couldn't go to work looking like that. So I had to say, I was mugged so I had to stay at home for a week. Told my mother, ukuthi ngishayisekile, ngiwile, whatever story. Askholwe because you know, like kunalabantu mina I'm outspoken. I'm sure now we are going to, you know, I'm like that. I talk and kunalabantu who are sweet. And most bigger, so too, most comparative to you might think we would actually and this one is, you know, so being relationship. I'm the one ole, and Yena he's not. So my mother would not even think you know. I mean, there was a time where I was pregnant and was beaten up. It was so bad that some of his family members had to come to rescue me. I was pregnant with my second child. He pulled me out of the bed because he saw something. He saw a conversation, a guy saying, I saw you and your husband. I wanted to come greet you guys. And I said, no, you should have come. And I was beaten up for that, you know? Sure. So, but I don't know why I protected it. Although the families knew. But you know, there would be a time where okay, he was raised by umamkhulu, so umamkhulu umama. When I say umama, I would be referring to umama again. I would say to her, uyangishaya lo muntu. And kwafika ilanga lapho ukuthi I could not take it anymore. Sure. And I went ngihamba ngayombophisa. But I had to drop masinyane. Well, I didn't even get a chance to open the case because then family is called and you can't do that. You can't involve police. You can't do this, you can't do that. So I don't know why I wanted to, why I covered that. Yeah. You know, I don't know why I did that to myself. Okay, maybe I do. Maybe actually I do. I think my self-esteem, remember when I got married, I had said, Mamela ngiyahlala la. You know, this is what I want, this is, you know, and there's other things that I had done previously that I felt ukuthi mhlambe ngicorrect impilo yami ngazo ngomshado perhaps. So when I went into the marriage bekukuthi ngiyophuma ngebhokisi. You know, so noma ezinye sezifika ebezimele zinyenze ukuthi ngiphume, I just held on. I held on for dear life.
Sure. So yini le manje efike kuthenini uzuthazi hayi mhlambe sengiright kukuphi la ihamba khona ezifike khona ubota hayi
no mina phela remember ukuthi azange divorce mina azange kube yimi ofaka divorce mina wa divorce mina yini. But let me tell you what happened. While ngilwela ukuthi no mina ngifuna ukuhlala kulomshado ngiyashaywa ngiyenzwani but kumnanda ngithi ngizile masiqala what I said nobumnandi bebekhona, so I would want to focus more on ebumnandini until the time where my family set me down, because angithi njoba ngisho ukuthi ingqondo yami bengathathi kahle. They set me down and made me realize ukuthi asingenanga for the same reasons kulomshado. I might have gone into it because I was in love and I wanted to build and I wanted a certain lifestyle and picture to paint for other people. But ama reasons wethu bewangafani, and this was after my car got repossessed. Angisana ndawo yokuhlala. I really struggled. Ngasala kule mshado. Okay, we got separated, right? When he left, akwatela ukuthi ngigqoke elinye iroko and yeah, whatever reasons. And he packed his bags and he left. And for me, it didn't make sense. Ukuthi how umuntu angapakisha amabag ahambele ukuthi asivumelananga ngento yeroko. You know, it didn't make sense at that time. And so when he left, phela mina ngiyabona inyanga iyadlula hayibo, second month iyadlula hayibo nangu umuntu akabuyi, third month uyabo. And then I'm struggling. I think for me, into being kakhulu at that time was that I'm struggling financially. I'm struggling. He moved me from my area, which was closer to work, to le emajugujugini, and he only stayed there for literally 7 days, and then he left. Lapho langihlala khona ifence yakhona ingaka. Le moto leyana ayina garage. Ayikho into esebenzayo laphayana. We were planning, we wanted to buy the house and then see renovate and so I'm in this situation. I'm struggling. Like I'm at the point where I can't even buy ibisi lomntwana. I'm employed. I've got a good job. I've got a good salary, but it cannot cover any of the things engizidingayo. And so sengiyafona ekhaya ngicela ipetrol because angisana nepetrol yokuya emsebenzini. Ibhanki yangifonela ifuna imoto. Hey, yonke into iyabheda. So my family sat me down, and when I realized what was going on at that time, I then had to have a conversation with myself. Now, he had met someone, and
in the midst of things.
Look, man is calculator like me.
Okay.
This is me. I'm not saying Gunjal because he has said to me it was not the case. But man is calculator like me. The reason why he moved out was because he had met this person. And this person's finances were good. So, me namang is struggling up. Ay, uputi qoka kahle man, hey, qoka yonke le brand ongayicabanga. How I'm thinking, lo le uyithathephi, you know, because now and again he would have to come see abantwana, you know. So you start to see how uputi uqoke a certain brand. Okay, angithi umyeni wakho uyazazi impahla zakhe. Hayi le angiyazi. Oh, okay. Then you start to hear things. Oh, okay. And my car got repossessed. They bought him a similar car. The exact car. I don't know if it was bought for him, but he's now driving this car.
Lo muntu, okay, unyamalela after 7 days. Maseka abuya every now and then azo-check ingane, impahla.
It started with the clothes.
Nemoto bekangayi-afford nisesenonke manje.
Bekanga-afford isikhiya semoto. Le besihamba ngayo. And then suddenly, look, but when I say that, I'm not saying it in a bad way, of course.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show you how deep it was. Yeah, but when ukhuluma ngemoto, mina ngikhuluma ngesikhiya, you know? Angithi uyawazi ama finances omuntu wakho. But hey, this person he's thriving, man. Yes, uyabona ukuthi kuhamba kahle, and there's a certain project that he did that would have wanted a lot of money from him. I knew ukuthi akana 100 rand manje. But the project ifuna imali eningi, and it was there, it was out. He did that project. So mina, I still did not see ukuthi kuyenzakalani. And until my family, my older brother and my mother sat me down and said, listen, ayikho indoda engizophuma endlini. Okay, my mother was trying to show me ukuthi there could be an affair. My mom said to me, and this way, my exact words were, indoda iyajwayela ukulala nomuntu wesifazane. Ayikho indoda ezophuma iyohlala kubo nje. You know, uyajwayela ukulala empedeni nomuntu wesifazane, unkosikazi wakhe. So I still did not see ukuthi uthini. I still did not figure out ukuthi she was saying to me, lo muntu is probably having an affair, you know? And then my brother had an issue ukuthi, okay, like, what is he doing? Is he maintaining you? Because my brother used to say, noma ngabe uyajola ke, mhlambe uzitshela ukuthi impilo yakho uyoyenza ngemijolo. Cabanga ukuthi unabantwana emuva, you know, uyenzela abantwana bakho and stuff. And that was not the case until they said to me, listen, angithi uyawazi ama finances? This is the story. Only then I realized, but no man, this was not about marriage and building from day one. Yeah. That's when I needed to have honest conversations with myself. That's when I needed to say, okay, Ntombenhle, you also messed up. Yeah. Yabo? You also messed up. You saw yourself when you were making copies from your bank. Yeah. You know, you saw yourself when you gave him the car, when you stayed at home and not went anywhere because I had to have this. I mean, I would take policies and stuff, and they would pay from my account, you know, on his name. I saw all of that, and nobody put a gun on my head and said I must force, you know, and forced me to do it. So then I had to have this, the hardest confession, if I may. It was never about love. Yeah. Until the day I said, you know what? It was never about love. I counted my blessings. At least something good came out of it. The 2 little ones came out of it. And that was it. So in order for me to be able to completely let go, and by let go, I don't mean Uguti to get over him, but let go, I had to let go of my anger towards him, hatred, because I hated him at some point. And every hostile feeling that I had towards him, I needed to admit to myself, you know? And yeah, so I did that. That's why we've got a book now.
So, was it true after iskashanyana mhlambe senhlukene ukuthi vele khona umuntu obeseka khona?
Yes, there was someone. Okay, let me tell you, but this isn't the book. Let me tell you about the day we got divorced. The day we got divorced, my car was, okay, had been repossessed, ne? Yeah. So a friend of mine, my best friend, took me to court. I had asked my family not to come. I don't know why. But I asked them not to come, but they came anyway. So my friend took me to court. Masifika kwayenzwa ke ama proceedings wakhona kwaqedwa. Masiphuma, I'm careless, I'm penniless, I'm healthless, if you content, because I'd been having a heart attack and whatever. Everything literally went south. And sangene emotweni yomngane wami, sasuka ke yabona mos ngiyaphunywa ema parking. Masiyehla waspeeda. Sesiphume eqala ngethini. Waspeeda, and he had to make sure ukuthi he parks next to us ngemoto yakhe entsha. Listen, I looked at him and I said, but God, why did you do this to me? Like, why? Yeah, but I know it's not his car. Yeah. I knew at that time you know, but he had to show me. Bekungathi uthi angakaqedi. Yabo, nayi last nail on the coffin. Well, mina intentional about Paul. It hurt me. It almost destroyed me, because I can't say I was strong. A lot of people keep saying, you were strong. I keep saying, you don't know what I went through. You have no idea what I went through. There were times where I literally could not even open my eyes. I could not. I would literally have to take my fingers and open my eyelids because I could not. Shut it down. There were times where I mean, my kids were very small. I would lie to my mother and say, oh, ask her ukuthi ngicela uthatha abantwana ngizobalanda nini abathathe, and I would be in bed for 2 days ngingavuki ngingaphumi, like ngingaphumi embedeni. I would just, you know, luckily you know, the unsuit, I would just go to the bathroom when I needed to go to the bathroom. I would not eat. I would I think if yabona kuba nento ekuthiwa semi-death, I semi-died. Like, I literally almost died. There was a time where I gave up. As much as I want to preach the gospel of not giving up now, there was a time when I actually gave up. I did not want to live. I tried to kill myself. I tried to kill myself with the kids. I gave up. I wanted, and I think because I wanted him, crazy as it may sound, I wanted him. I didn't want him to leave me, because I mean, how see a buildamus, you know. So there was a time where I'd given up.
And I can't imagine if when you were going through that by yourself, I think internal goes to feel bad. Seeing another person, logo na go through the same thing, but imagine opposite.
Yo, be opposite. I think that is what almost killed me. It was a shock. You know, it's one thing to say, I know this person and I know what they are capable of. Had you asked me about him doing that to me, I would say no, he would not even do it to somebody else. Not just me, but he's not that kind of a person. So for me, ne progress yakhe, I think futhi yabo ma umuntu othandazayo umuntu wesonto and stuff. I thought there would be times where in my prayer I would say to God, so because things are going well for him and bad for me, does this mean ukuthi mina nawe asikho sharp na? You know, is there something that I've done? Is this payback? Is this harvest time? Because it doesn't look like you can hear me. It doesn't look like you are on my side. I'm not saying take sides, get you off, but nibe right, you know, because I mean, to be honest with you, when I met this man, I was not, bengi sharp financially, but I mean, now and again, I would take my daughter for vacations for a week, we would fly out, we would do this, we would do that, we would buy the clothes, type of clothes that we wanted. I would never be Goma eras nama any payments, or you know, begu right, begu pilega. Now I get married and I thought ukuthi umshado intando yakho, you know, and ngene emshadweni ngiqala uku-experience inhlupheko emshadweni. Okay, that's fine. Sengi-experience-ile ke inhlupheko emshadweni. Angithi sithe for better and whatever. Sithi nkonje for better or worse, whatever. Sengisele ne-worse. Hayi Jehova ngathi unenkinga nami, yabo. Wengathi ngisele ne-worse mina. Ngoba i-worse isele nami. This person is doing well according. Look, I knew ukuthi it was not from his own pocket. But the fact that yena bekhona umuntu omyenzelayo or bekakhona ukuthola lo, kimi meant ukuthi hama noJehova ngathi akadlali nami. Mhlambe kunento esingekho right. So I really struggled. Ngakho konke.
Sure. So kukho konke sekwenzakele. Ngifuna understand into oyifundile kwenzela mhlawumbe umuntu obukele ohlangana nomuntu esontweni umuntu omthothi hayi mina ngibiziwe.
And bakhona babiziwe.
Yeah. Kuthi iphi conversation ekumele abe nayo nomuntu wakhe if that kunjalo vele ukuthi umuntu ubiziwe from your own experience good.
Look, I'm not against ukubizwa ubizo lo muntu, but ubizo makube ne plan like bizweni. I'll just give you an example. uNkulunkulu makaqeda ukudala umuntu ne uyambeka ubeka Adam garden, then he says work, sebenza la, so that masekusebenzekile uEva ngizombeka la. So uyasebenza, uyazi ukuthi iapula lingakuphi, uyazi ukuthi ispinach singakuphi, uyazi ukuthi inihlala kanjani ama flowers, ukumjabulisa uyomjabulisa ngani nani, uyazi ukuthi la kwigarden ngizokwazi kanjani ukummaintaina lo sisi. So if uNkulunkulu uyabeka uAdam lapha amaceda lapha wabeka uEve ngana plan, then we would justify. So have a plan. Ekubizweni kwakho have a plan. Wena sisi mabakutshela ukuthi mina ngibiziwe angike usebenza, boni plan. Give me a plan. What's your plan? Where are you going to eat when you're done? I thina when we're done. You know? And it's not wrong. It's not wrong to ask what are you putting on the table? It's not wrong. What are you bringing? Uzanani? I mean, imagine kusasa mangathi ngithi ngiyashada ngibuye ngizokutshela ukuthi hayi lo bhuti lo ongiphindile naye kushuthi yimo phambene, because you need to ask those questions. What are you bringing to the table? Let me see your financial status. Umephi kenzakala. I'm not saying my financial status is sharp manje. I'm not saying that. I'm not even close to that. But honestly, ask questions. And if you are not happy ngama answers, angeke izishintshe emshadweni. Angeke azafika emshadweni kubhede bese athi ayisengicabanga ukusebenza because ukutshelile before nishade ukuthi akayisebenza. What makes you think it's going to change now?
Sure. Okay. Just to evaluate, the same question I asked our previous guest, right? Especially if it's called, kunale pressure le yabantu besifazana ukuthi abaku ministry ukuthi kumele bashade, right? So ngifuna understand ukuthi ngiyazi manihlangana khona izinto okhulume ngazo uyibonile was overlooked. So ngifuna understand ukuthi do you think naleyo pressure ebekwa ebantwini like besifazana ukuthi masofika ku certain age kumele ubusushadile noma ungaba asikwazi ukupha certain isikhundla zonke lezo zinto lezo? Do you think that they contributed to a certain extent to overlook certain things?
Yes, I would say that. But you see, the pressure is not only by abanye abantu. I think we also choose it. Yabo? You also choose it when uzifaka under pressure. By the age of 30, I want to be married. Who said that? Who said by the age of 30 you should be married? Are you saying by the age of 30 ngifuna ukuba na degree I6 or ngifuna ukuba na? Are you saying that now? So nathi we choose leyo nto le. I'll tell you why. When I met him, bengi prayer yomshado.
Prayer kanjani yomshado?
Bengithandazela indoda.
Angizengizwa ukuthi ngenza lokho azindlela. Yeah.
I'll just be honest, because everything they call. I had my daughter, I had a good job, I had my, I had this, I had that. So being I took short at something. But who said Gashota?
Short is full, but just
yes, location. Yes, to my house. So can do you say Masovisa Colana? Everyone shut the net log. I call my service, I call smell, I call. So I wanted that. And I was praying. But I think Nami being is very under pressure, unnecessary prayer. So because what a masega figure, I didn't go back as somebody ocelile uNkulunkulu ngicela ungiphindota. Maka figure azangibiyele ngithi uNkulunkulu le ndoda ungiphile yona na. Ngithe yo Jehova uphendula imithando. That is why one of the titles in the book is my unanswered marriage prayer, because I was praying for marriage when he came. And the biggest thing I kept on saying to you, I don't know what made me stay in that marriage, Nana. But when it comes to pressure, the biggest thing that made me stay in the marriage that I was not supposed to, I think it's in Proverbs 14 verse 1. I could be wrong, but I think it's Proverbs 14:1. Lele lithi umfazi ohlakaniphile uyazakhela umuzi wakhe, oyisula uyawubhidlisa yena futhi ngezandla zakhe. That verse ihlalisa abantu abaningi emshadweni wrong. I am one of them. Because even now, he would use that against me. That's the very same verse. When you start asking questions like, okay, is seeing like or panda, you know, then go and talk to you are not wise enough. A wise wife knows how to build a car like. And that for me, when it comes to because even when I went to Abomam, which was great, but none of the women asked me, are you in any way abused in this marriage? Are you abused financially, physically, and otherwise? Nobody asked that from the church. We were praying for my husband to come back. With what? Yes, we are praying.
And those are my question of
most important things that we are supposed to be asking. Those are the things that because somebody should have asked to go to Ambele. That's my definition. That's how I define things.
Hey.
Nobody asked.
Yeah, ngiyazi ngole.
Uyayibona?
Sure.
Hayi boba baba nako nje ukuthi babhayizela endleleni. But tripeki. Utrichwe yini? Who is asking that? Esontweni. I don't want to ngifuna la esontweni. Is there anyone othi mawuza kuye esontweni uzothi umyeni wami ungenza ukuthi nokuthi abuze ukuthi uhambeleni? Because if had somebody asked me, I can imagine there's a rumor, there's a woman in and nobody was going to pray for me. But many be strong and move on, my finances, back at least, closer to work. Because that marriage, I always say, that is the marriage that
sure. As the point of sure, ne, kukhona ukuthi abantu babizwe bakhulekele ngasikhulekele eGibhithe. Umuntu uphuma eGibhithe thina sikhuleka eGibhithe ngoba asibuze the right questions.
No, we don't.
Ukuphethe kanjani lo muntu lo? Yes. Thothi uyagqilaza thanazela ukuthi loyo umuntu ogqilaza abuye.
We don't ask those questions esontweni. Ubaba makabuyi. Perhaps abanye umama makabuyi. But the truth of the matter is that umuntu uhlezi la kushisa khona. And lo phuma ngoba uyazi ukuthi mangifuna ukubuya ngizobuya. Mara manje ngisafuna ukuyenza lento engifuna ukuyenza. Kanti ngabe si empowera lo ukuthi lo makaphumile azije ukuthi uzobuyela ngoba thina kumele sisolo ke asithandazeleni ukuthi wena ube strong, vula ingqondo, bona ukuthi plan impilo yakho iba ne plan nawe ngeyakhe impilo. You know?
Sure. So sesizoyivala as per igama le show. So experience konke, and even through that, like yini be keep going ukuthi umuntu uyaqhubeka uyaflourisha ngelokho njani, and ula ukhona uyazi na ukuthi chances are if bekangekho ngaba uvukho la ula ukhona ngenxa yakhe, but yena usaqhubeka. Like how do you manage manje? Before ingane beyi-1, now it's 3. And asikhuluma abantu abadala abakhona ukuyiphanda sikhuluma abantu abadepende kuwe ngayo yonke into. Like what kept you going?
So there was this particular day. Njoba ngithi there were times where bengakhona ukuphuma, like bengilala 3 days, 4 days, you know, ngingaphumeli ngaphandle, ngingaphumi engubeni kuso. So that day, I thought of this woman from the Bible, the woman with the issue of the blood. But I just thought of her. And I thought of the time where she had a conversation with herself. And she said, if I can touch the hem of his garment. That line said, if I can touch the hem of his garment. I completed it. And I said, then my victory is assured. That's where victory is assured comes from. And so I started confessing that. Man, victory is assured. I started confessing it. I started saying it. I started every day. I would say it and I believe. I would say it. I was very thin. You like bengi son, you know. But I would keep on saying it, and then I started eating again, you know. Then I started believing it. Baba, game changer. The day I believed my victory is assured, like Mina, I'm victorious. Not because, you know, motivational speakers would come and say it and believe it and whatever. And now you say it. But I really, really honestly believed I'm victorious. The day I believed it, what changed I believed what I could. I somehow believed what I was gonna get out of that mess. Careless, penniless, and everything that I did not have. I knew I was gonna be able to replace them. I don't know how. And I was able to. You know, and then I started talking. I started listening to other women and realized that a lot of women are actually going through this. And you know, the time in divorce, I saw how the church even looked at me. You know, some people from the church. So I then started talking to some of the people, women especially. Because I would say, yo, matamba reposisile. And people would say, yo, yes, namba reposisile. But I realized within the church, as now I'm a platform I saw. You know, that's how I came about Ivia, that women platform that I have, the ministry that I have. You know, and I believe in the unconditional love of God. I believe ukuthi uNkulunkulu akangithandi ngoba kunento right engiyenzayo or ngiyenzile, ungithanda regardless, you know. And so that's who I am. I started to believe in that, and I started to encourage other people around me. And I just saw the goodness of the Lord.
Yeah.
I saw the hand of God.
And look at you now.
Pulling me up. Pulling me up.
Right, uyakuthola ngiyathemba nabafitha ababhekile nabo lana bazokhomenta
bangathuswa yile ngithi lena uyazi le
nje yokuxosha nje
hayi lena nje isibani nje
but ngiyabonga for availing yourself namhlanje uzoshela story sakho futhi.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure.
Yeah. Bafisi goqa lapho sabonga ku DVC Studios for making this possible. Mawufuna ukushoota in ama movie bazokutshela baye ku website angithi khona ku website mawufuna ukwenzana edinga nje yonke into shoot, edit and stuff like that. Bakhona bafethu thina namhlanje ke iphila lapho sobonana in the next episode bafethu. Sha.